Welcome to This Is. My name is Austin. However, today I have been joined by the illustrious, the incredible, the interesting Kevin Kenson. Kevin, how is it going this fine morning?
It's going pretty good. You know, I'm looking forward to losing right now. I just want to preface before any of this that, you know, ever since I agreed to even do this, Matt has told me every time I've seen him that, you know, Jake did way too well, so he needs someone to fail, and he's decided that person is me. So, you know, I'm here to rise to the challenge.
The rules are very simple. We're going to play you 10 sound effects from games, and we're going to ask you 2 questions. First of all, what game franchise and or game it's from, we'll explain that in a little bit, as well as what year it came out. Now, some of these, as you might imagine, have been shared through multiple games throughout, so sequels and whatnot were all the same. So for a few of them, we're going to accept the first year that that game came out in the franchise, right? So if it's like, say, Super Mario, when did Super Mario first come out? Because obviously the sound had been carried over for several years. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
If you are able to get 50% of these correct, so the years, if you get all the years right, if you get all the names right, or some combination of those equaling 50%, you will be a This Is winner, and you will be entitled to a tweet of literally whatever it is that you want on our Twitter handle. However, as always, if you fail, then we're going to ask you to tweet out a very kind, please subscribe to This Is, and hopefully you're okay with that. I should have asked you that before we started.
I was gonna say, I don't remember signing any contract to this deal.
Oh, if you think this is sudden, wait until you get to the bonus round. All right, Kevin Kenson, are you ready for the This Is game show?
Let's do this.
Let's start out with question number 1.
Oh, okay, I thought this was gonna be like hard. Yeah, all right, yeah, obviously. Like, Street Fighter 2, well, no, I mean, this one's easy, yeah. Street Fighter 2, specifically Ryu, that's like the main Hadouken line. Year though, I'm bad at years. It's 90s, it's 1990, 1993?
He's not wrong.
But you're not right, and that's the important thing. This actually is from Street Fighter 1, not Street Fighter 2, which was back in 1987.
Oh, did they reuse the exact same soundbite? Because that's definitely the soundbite 2 uses. I didn't realize that.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Wait,
I'll give it to him.
Matt, were you wrong? You were wrong on question 1? Ooh, I think Kevin Kenson just showed you up with his superior video game knowledge. Kevin Kenson, full points.
I would bet my life on that being Street Fighter 2, or at least the one that was used in Street Fighter 2.
Kevin, now that you have successfully challenged and successfully gotten your points, let's move on to question number 2.
Oh, I'm actually not sure. Like, I know those sounds.
Walk me through your thought process. So you immediately think that this is pretty old school, pretty classic, right?
Yeah, and it almost sounds like it's not direct capture from the game, but like someone playing on an arcade cabinet, because it sounds like I hear the stick being like moved around. Or is that a clicking sound from within the game?
So I think that like a click 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 sound I think is actually like the sound of the game itself.
Oh, I'm really not sure about this one. It definitely sounds classic. Like old, like, you know, 80s arcade era. Okay, my gut reaction was this, and I felt like it was wrong, but because of the heavy drops you're clearly trying to drop right now. Dig Dug?
In what year did that particular video game come out?
I don't remember what year that is, because I'm awful at years. It's the 80s, 1983?
Kevin Kenson, I'm happy to say this is a game from 1982, which means you get points there. However, it is not Dig Dug. It is the incredibly successful, honestly, one of the greatest games of all time, E.T. for the Atari 2600.
I forgot about E.T. I mean, I wanted to forget about E.T., so I've succeeded there, but that was not a good time for this.
So of course, if you're not familiar, E.T. is probably one of the worst like mainstream games of all time, and is widely credited for ultimately bringing down the video game industry as a whole back in the early 80s. It was bad, and they buried like what, 10,000 or 100,000. They buried a ton of extra unsold copies of E.T. in the desert.
Yeah, it's crazy. Part of what made that game awful too was, I mean, not just how rushed it was, but the fact that you couldn't tell what anything was on screen. Like, there were holes you would fall down, which is what that sound effect was, but then it was the exact same little like colorful bar to represent a door or like other things you could interact with. So you just had no idea what was going on. You just kept falling down holes and getting angry. It was awful.
Kevin, I am very happy to report that you are currently at 3 of 4 questions correct, which means that you are well over the 50% threshold. So if you can keep this kind of pace up, you are absolutely on track to be a This Is winner. Let's move on to question number 3.
That was definitely Banjo's voice. I'm gonna be awful right now. Like, so Banjo-Kazooie, which started in 1997.
All right, so Banjo-Kazooie from 1997, is that your final answer?
98. 98 is my final answer.
Kevin Kenson, on question number 3, you are correct. This is Banjo-Kazooie. However, it's actually from 1995.
I thought it was later in the life cycle.
No, you're correct. It's 1998. I couldn't read my card.
I was like, was the N64 out in the US by 1995? That doesn't sound right.
Yes, 1998 is dead on for Banjo-Kazooie. That's actually a good point, because I don't think the N64 was out in 1995.
It was 96? Or 97? 97, because it was every 5 years for a little while.
Something like that, yeah. Well, regardless, congratulations on being correct. We are currently, you're actually doing better than we are because we have the answers and we have messed up twice already, whereas you have not had the answers and have been pretty much dead on. So, let's just swiftly move on to question number 4.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay, so that's StarCraft. Which was, I feel like I'm cheating a little bit here because Matt gave me specific instructions to watch Jake's video before this, and his first question was StarCraft. But I actually don't remember what year it was now that he said it. I want to say it was, because it was a year that had like a lot of big hits. So it was like it was in the late 90s. StarCraft 1990, is it 98 again? Am I about to lose like my RTS like knowledge license? Am I like way off on this?
No, Kevin Kenson, you were dead on. So yes, 1998 was infamous for being like probably the best year for video games ever, besides like, what, maybe 2007? So of course that is the Zerg Queen letting you know that your forces are under attack. So just a future note for anyone who's watching this who might be on the This Is Game show, I make Matt put StarCraft into every single quiz. So just keep your StarCraft knowledge handy. Well, let's see how you fare with question number 5.
Oh, what was that? It sounds vaguely familiar to me, but I'm not sure if it's like really resonating. Yeah, I really have no idea what that is. Based on like the quality of the sound effect, I'm gonna guess it was something like late 90s-ish. Oh wait, I get a Ken help, right? I don't know if I'm blowing this too early. Yeah, I was actually really hoping I wasn't gonna have to resort to this, and I feel a little bad it's this soon in the game. I have no idea what this is. Like, it sounds really familiar, but it's just not clicking in my brain.
It kinda sounds like Donkey Kong.
Okay, I guess I'll go with Donkey Kong 64 and we'll see if you're killing me or not. So I'm gonna go with the game is Donkey Kong 64, and if we're just going off of like the Rare series Donkey Kong games that started with the SNES game Donkey Kong Country, I think that was 1992.
All right, Kevin Kenson, for question number 5, you get 50% points. So this is in fact from Donkey Kong Country. However, the game came out in 1994. I've been given an instruction from Matt that I am supposed to read word for word for this particular question. Original Donkey Kong was released in 1981, but Matt argues that Donkey Kong Country in 1994 was the spiritual reboot of the Donkey Kong franchise, with Donkey being the permanent switch from antagonist to protagonist, and the console and arcade games should be separated into different franchises. I will die on this hill, Matt. So that is my official statement from Matt Ancini.
But either way, I'm wrong. So I actually kind of agree with him. Like, it's the character Donkey Kong, but there definitely is a kind of separate entity that starts with the later ones. But I don't know, that's a lot of splitting hairs. Anyways, I'll take the 50% points.
You should, because on question number 5, you have 8 points. So you are very close. You can actually tie this up technically if you get this next question 100% correct. So let's move on to question number 6.
Oh, I feel bad about how fast this one's gonna be. Like, I feel like we should banter more so there's time in the video. That is Contra on the NES, 1989?
Well, Kevin Kenson, prepare to hate yourself because this is Contra from 1987.
Ah! Each time I go a little higher or lower.
It's okay, it's okay. You obviously got that one incredibly quickly. But that means that we, on the This Is side, are still alive because you are still 1 point away from clinching. And don't forget, there is the bonus round, which if you are able to get 1 more point, I will explain to you shortly. But let's move on quickly to question number 7 before you decide what the answer is already.
Oh, that's a short sound effect. Oh, what does it sound like? That sounds like either picking up like a power-up or using maybe like a jump pad kind of deal. or like picking up a healing item. My brain wants to go to this as some kind of FPS. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself when I don't know what this is. Why did I blow the Donkey Kong one earlier? I had like an inkling and I didn't trust myself.
You're very close to clinching, and even if you get within a year of the actual year of the game, you still get points. So you can actually take a pretty wild guess and still be pretty safe here.
You know what? I'm just gonna say Halo, even though I'm pretty sure it's not right, and I'll throw out the year of 2000. What was that, 2002? No, not two, geez, later. 2001 was the original Halo, right? Unless we're counting Marathon, which is very different. Go ahead and tell me how I'm wrong.
All right, well, Kevin Kenson, I am sad to say that you are incorrect. This is a game from 2007, and this is the Orange Portal from Portal.
Oh, I hate myself.
It's like one of those ones where like now that you know it, you can't unhear it. But when you hear it, like it's tough. I'm telling you, like people watch this game and they think it's easy. But when you're in the hot seat, it is really difficult to like understand like where you can even place it.
I was definitely more focused on like actual full-blown, run and gun type stuff. I wasn't thinking about a puzzle shooter.
Well, lucky for you, Kevin, you are still absolutely in the game. So let's move on to question number 8.
Yeah, that's either like a really big monster bellowing or it's a war horn. It sounds like a much later game, something that's more recent for sure. My gut wants to say God of War with the giant serpent in the distance, like when it's kind of alluding to that thing being around. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with that's the giant snake in God of War, the most recent one. And God of War started in, oh geez, what year was God of War on the PS2? 2004 for the original God of War?
Kev, for question number 8, you have come a very long way in this game. And here you are going to continue because that is incorrect. This is from a little game in 2007 called BioShock. Specifically, this is the sound of the Big Daddy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh no, I'm losing my gamer card after this video.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, these later ones are really tough because it sounds like it could be a bunch of different things, especially because I feel like specifically in BioShock, I feel like usually the Big Daddy, you can never really actually hear it super clear. Like there's always like other ambiance, like you don't really actually just hear that raw soundbite.
Oh man, guys, I don't know if we can go live with this video.
It seems like you're in tough straits. However, keep in mind you have 2 questions. If you can get half of either of these questions right, you will clinch the victory. So you are still 1000% in this game. Are you ready to go on to question number 9?
No, I'm not. I'd like to stall forever, please. Filibuster.
Okay, question number 9.
This gives me another kind of arcade vibe later, obviously, than the ET one did, even though ET was an arcade game. I don't think this is what it is, but it reminds me of Turtles in Time, which is I think why my brain's attaching to that. It's like that, there's music going on, there's like a line, there's a sound effect after like picking something up. Can I at least guess a year for the sake of getting something?
You can absolutely guess whatever you like.
1996.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, I'm sad to say on question number 9, I can't give you points because you did not escape to the correct Ape Escape from 1999.
So I, growing up, actually didn't own a PS1, and so I missed a lot of those games. Yeah, no, I went straight into PS2, and the majority of what I replayed from PS1 was RPGs, because that's really like the main genre I play a lot. That was just one of those franchises I totally missed out on. I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't even play Crash growing up. I played the trilogy later when it got re-released.
I know that this is specifically Matt's favorite game, but I'm right there with you. I never played Ape Escape either. And yeah, I'm telling you, these later sound effects are really difficult, but you're still in the game. Getting a little bit dicey now, but we're going on to the final question, which you're going to need to get at least half of correct if you want to win. So let's move on to potentially our very final question, question number 10.
It's either interference or it's like a scanner or something. That's definitely the kind of sound effect you get whenever you're like either analyzing something or there's some kind of interruption on what you're watching. So there were ones earlier where I was like, oh, I know this general vibe, but I don't know, like I don't remember that hearing this specific sound. This is one where I'm like, I know I've heard this. Like I know it like in the back of my brain, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to find like the filing cabinet it's in. Like it is somewhere lost in all the other files. I think I'm actually like not even gonna guess on this one because I really have I know I've heard this sound, but I just have no clue what it's from.
You're just gonna completely pass. You're not gonna take any guess whatsoever.
Well, no. I'm gonna try a year for the hell of it, but I can't think of like what specific game. I don't know. 2002.
Kevin, Ballsy Kenson. We've gone 10 long rounds, and this is. We've come down literally to the wire. You started out with a commanding lead of the This Is Game Show, which has been slowly whittled away by some of the more difficult questions we've ever asked. When it comes down to question number 10, this is the Radio Static Danger from Silent Hill, which was released in 1999. I'm sorry, my friend, you have lost the This Is game. However,
My first instinct was frickin' Silent Hill, and I didn't listen to it. I didn't listen. I don't know why I did not listen to that instinct. I was like, no, like I don't like that's such a specific
don't be alarmed, because now you have absolutely nothing to lose by going for our ultimate double or nothing.
Don't I have everything to lose because I have to do a 30-second shout out if I lose it?
Matt's trying to soften your prize, but no, I will not allow it. So now you get to go on to the bonus round. Typically, this is optional because if you had have won the tweet, you could just walk away. However, because you have nothing to lose, there's no reason not to go for it. So the rules here are very simple. We're going to show you one last question, or rather let you listen to one last question. You're going to need to get it exactly right on the year and exactly right on the game. However, if you do so, you will be able to walk away with a 30-second ad spot in a future This Is episode. You can give up and leave right now, but at least you got a shot of winning, and you can redeem yourself with what I will say is a quite difficult one.
God, for some reason my brain almost wants to say Soul Calibur for that one, but I don't think that's quite right. So Matt specifically told me he wasn't gonna do Persona, but my brain keeps going back to this might be Persona, because it reminds me of when you ambush an enemy.
Wait, hold on a second. Matt specifically told you a game that was not going to be included? That seems like it's against the rules, Matt. Is this true? Is this true?
I didn't say anything.
Matt denies it. Matt says that there's no such rule in this.
He said, no, I'm not gonna use that.
Matt's being pretty firm that he has no such rule in place, so I don't know if I believe that one.
It sounds like Persona. The problem here is whether it sounds like one of the earlier ones. It doesn't sound like 5 to me. It sounds like 3 or 4. Yeah, because this sounds like the sound effect when you like sneak up on an enemy and then initiate combat, and then it does the like the first sound effect is like the hitting them, and then the next one is the whatever transition sound effect into combat. I'm gonna say Persona 5, which came out in 2017?
I'm getting a hard no from the judges, so this is in fact from Persona 4.
4, damn it!
I'm sorry, my friend. That one came down to the wire. So yes, you were dead on though. It is the summoning Persona noise, but
Yep, yeah, because 5 they have the mask and take it off.
so I'm sorry to say, my friend, you are not This Is winner today. However, I would like to extend an open invitation to come back to the game show at any point, in which I'm sure we will inevitably make it even more difficult for you to win.
And we do that one where I win, and we don't upload this one, right?
Exactly, yeah. So at this point, we're gonna cut the video, and then this is gonna go into the archives, the vault, some might say, and we're gonna come right back in 2 months and you'll be like, hey, what are the rules to this brand new wacky game you guys have? Woohoo!
Oh, man.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much for being an excellent sport. Thank you very much for being on the This Is Game Show. Where can people find your wonderful bearded face?
It's Kevin Kenson. I don't know if anyone's gonna want to click through at this point after seeing me just completely fail on the second half of this game, squandering my lead. But yeah, if you want to check stuff out, there you go.
No. You need to, if you're watching this video, you absolutely need to go subscribe to Kevin Kenson for some of the most high quality video game content, retrospectives, all kinds of excellent content around the world of video games on the entire internet. I am saying that not only as Kevin's friend, but as someone who's been watching his videos from day one. You should absolutely be sure to go subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe not only to Kevin, but also here to This Is for many more wonderful game shows. And if you've missed any, including some of the wonderful ones right beside me, you can go watch those right now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for Kevin Kenson 2, the Kevining.